Okay, welcome back, everyone. I believe this is episode 4 already of season 3, Empowered Practice Podcast with beautiful Toni. And we're here just coming off of the Aries Full Moon. And Toni, did you want to open with a meditation again today?
Yes, let's get started with that. So go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to try to get your back as straight as you can and put your shoulders back so you can open up your heart center. And then I want you to really move around your bottom in your seat so you feel grounded. If you're standing, really, plant your heels down. I want you to feel strong. And then go ahead and take a deep inhale and then hold the breath. Now release that breath and go ahead and do that again. So we're inhaling, deep inhale, and then you want to hold it for about 4 to 6 seconds. And then you just want to let it all out. Continue that breathing, and I'm just going to tell you a few affirmations that will help you open up to receive whatever you need to receive in this episode today. I am powerful. I am strong. I am limitless. I trust my decisions. I trust in myself. I am free. I am at home in my body. I feel natural. Allow those affirmations to find their place in your body. Sometimes the words, they go to our mind. Sometimes they go to our heart. Sometimes they settle in our womb. Sometimes they're in our hands so that when we touch others and ourselves, we can share that energy. Just allow it to flow with no pressure. And on the last breath, I want you to hold as long as you can and push it hard out. Push all of that air out. And when you're ready, you can open up.
Ooh. I love that.
Yeah, that was great. When it was, what was the affirmation? I feel at home. I think that was the one that, like, I felt the shivers, like, in my heart and go out. I'm like, that was it. That was what we all need to hear and feel together. And, when I'm here with you, the part of you that's so magical, it amplifies my magic. So when it's so different when you're with someone.
It really
and experiencing it, it's like, it takes the pressure off, I feel.
Yeah.
Like you can share it with someone who who cares for you. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. I was thinking the same. There's such magic in mirroring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yay.
Powerful start. So tell us more about this Aries full moon.
Oh, wow. Okay. Letting you know right now, I have so much to say.
Yes.
So much. much juicy, amazing stuff. So let's just talk a little bit about the spirit of Aries.
Yeah.
You know, God of war. So letting you know from the start, we're fighting, we're standing up for ourselves, we're doing what's necessary. We don't care what other people have to say. If I want it, I'm going to get it done. That's just the Aries spirit. And every Aries I've ever encountered, it's like that. It's, you know, they're open for my opinion, but they're like, whatever, I'm still going to do it. But, you know, thank you for telling me. And also a fire sign. So it's all about that heat that starts in our belly when we have either an amazing moment, you know, or when we have a crappy moment. That same fire, because energy is energy that really steers you and gets you going. So we already have that going on with this full moon. Okay. So if you've gotten in arguments the past week, it's okay. It happens. Or if you've been feeling really emotional and you haven't been able to keep your emotions to yourself, makes sense. It's okay. It's the Aries full moon. But also on the positive side of it, if all of a sudden, you know, you're walking with your shoulders a bit back more and your chest is up more and your chin is up more, and you're like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do it. Yeah. Because this is the time for it. And also what's really came to me, usually with full moons, you know, it's all about, well, it's not all about, but a lot of people focus on the releasing part of it. And how it illuminates, you know, what's wrong or what needs, you know, fixing in your life, which is good. Yeah. But the fire of this moon, I feel like, well, let's let all the other stuff go and just celebrate yourself, because full moons are also a time for celebration, right? And if no matter what, whatever you're doing right now is going to be amplified by the full moon, well, why not max out on loving on yourself? Yeah. You know, write a list, write a letter to yourself. Do whatever you need to do to celebrate yourself. And lately I've been working so much with gratitude. It's all over my social media, and it's really growing, and it's really awesome to just get people and myself. Let me talk about myself. Just to get myself in the frame of being grateful every morning. Yeah. And making myself do it. Showing up for that ritual, even though if I accidentally forget or something like that, it's like, hold on, wait. We got to still do this, you know, because that's the magic of it. And this is something that's good for me. And it's something that fits into my life. And if I'm going to be on Instagram anyway, I can make a list of things that I'm grateful for, right? Yeah. You know? And in that realm of gratitude, I realized that I had been forgetting to be grateful for myself. To be grateful for what I bring to this world. And what happened, my best friend, she texted me, and her ex came out of nowhere and was telling her how amazing she is. And I said, well, I text you that all the time because I think you're awesome. And she said, well, I respect your opinion. She was like, because I think you're the epitome of strength and love. And then I was like, what? Really? I'm like, most of the time I think I'm feeling weak. Yes. I'm like, and you think I'm the epitome of strength? I'm like, she's like, oh my gosh, you've been through all this stuff and that, and you're like, I love life and I'm grateful and I'm still here. And probably because I trust her opinion so much, because we've been best friends for almost 20 years now. Wow. It hit me. And I was just like, holy crap. I haven't been celebrating myself. Yeah. I haven't been going through the list of the things that make me a rare and beautiful gem in this world. And It was like I told my best friend, it was like I was doing acid and then like boom, a door opened. And now like, it was just like the biggest epiphany and realization of my life. Literally. I'm just like, holy crap, I've been missing that piece.
Yeah.
So that, my darlings, is the missing piece. That's where it's at. The life we are waiting on, the experiences we are waiting on, I feel is within those emotions of feeling good about us.
Yeah.
Feeling good about who I am. What are your strengths? Focus on that. Give yourself a break. You know what? Today, you don't have to fix everything about yourself.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on your strengths. What are you awesome at? If you're awesome at telling jokes, hey, guess what? Write it down and think about it and go, you know what? I'm pretty darn funny.
Yeah.
I make people feel better. And that's it. And you start building and building and building on that. 6 months, a year later, all of a sudden you have self-confidence again.
Yeah.
You have self-esteem again. And as well, it's so much easier to look on the bright side again, you know, because you feel worthy, because you're celebrating yourself. So this full moon is all of, not just this full moon, this month, the rest of this year, next year, the rest of this life, however long the planet has left, is about celebrating yourself, being grateful for what you bring to this world, and just loving on yourself. And then take in the spirit of this Aries full moon, who, you know, Aries doesn't wait for someone to tell them when to make a decision. Now is the time. Now is the time to say, you know what? I'm going to select my happiness as priority. I'm not going to wait. Well, in a couple of months, I'll get myself together. Well, in a year, I'll find someone to talk to. Or, you know, I'll read that book in 6 months. I'm not ready for that. You know, no. The time is now.
Yeah.
No one is going to save you but yourself. And you have to be your own hero. You can't save everybody else if you aren't taking care of yourself. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
And think about it. We live in a world where more people are taking their wellness and their happiness and fulfilling their destiny more seriously. What kind of world we live in? It'd be a good damn world.
Yeah.
So Aries full moon.
Yeah.
Good. Some good power stuff. Yeah. Some awesome.
For real.
Yes. Yes. And you know, even with that, with finding the way to take the initiative in your life, that's also taking the time to figure out what that looks like.
Yes.
You know, and I have discovered within my practice lately, as I'm digging deeper within myself, that I'm running into a lot of people who literally have no idea what happiness looks like to them. They're like, oh, I'm just happy. I'm like, well, what does it feel like? What does it look like? I'm like, how can we get there if we have no idea what it feels like? You know?
Yeah.
But that's also taking responsibility for your happiness.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to tell yourself, oh, I guess I really wasn't taking my happiness seriously. That sucks to say. That sucks to admit to yourself that a lot of things that have happened to you are because you were afraid to really look in the mirror. And that's not a good feeling. But it's necessary if you want to feel better, if you want to feel good in this world. So last week I met this guy. It was romantic. And yes, which was cool because it's been a while. Anyway, so it's been a while since I met someone that I felt was inspiring.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, you know us, we're always like looking at the much deeper part. We're never just like, I bet this guy. It's like, well, hold up. What makes this so different? What are these emotions? Blah, you know, the whole thing. All our self-help books come in crashing at one time, and we're trying to figure it out. Yeah. So then I realized, you know, we were talking. He was like, I feel like I've known you forever. I was like, yeah, it feels like home. And so when I got home and I'm digging deeper into that, I realized, you know, I felt like I was at home with him. I felt free. I felt natural. And then I thought some more about that. And of course, yes, I had those affirmations in our meditation because I realized that's how I want to feel all the time.
Yes.
You know, that's how I feel after a session. That's how I feel when we do this podcast together. Yes. That, you know, like, I'm like, oh, that's what I'm looking for all the time. I want to feel at home. I want to feel free, and I want to feel natural. So taking the time, the initiative within ourselves to figure out, how the heck do I want to feel?
Yeah.
That's what changes it. That's what gives us the fire.
And the intention is everything, right? Because it's not like you sat down and you were like, okay, I'm going to meet up with this person and they're going to show me this and I'm going to do. You just said, okay, I'm open to understanding what I want, right? I'm listening, I'm in tune, I'm receptive, and then stuff gets brought in and you get to decide how to respond to it. And you're like, and when we don't judge ourselves for it or think there's something wrong with us, we can just be like, okay, nope, this is a no for me. Yes to more of this. The more we do that, the more fine-tuned it gets, more nuanced it gets, and we just get closer and closer to being in that magic lane. Yeah.
I always love when you take like my thoughts and emotions and stuff, and then you put it in JD words, and it's like I'm hearing the same thing but differently, but it's like I'm discovering a new thing when you say it. I'm like, yes, she understands.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's people listening who feel the same way. It feels so good to feel heard and understood.
Yes. To be seen, you know. Let's go back to how you said like the fine tuning of it.
Yeah.
Because that's really how you get to experience more of the good stuff in this life. And I love when you always speak about, you know, no expectations, but just, you know, have your intentions set. And we'll use the guide because especially with love and career, health, things where we have like these certain goals or expectations, we can really get mixed up with our emotions and our vibration and what we're putting out into the world because we have like this expectation. And, you know, years ago, if I met a guy that I really liked, then automatically it's like, well, maybe this is the one, or maybe we're going to do this, or maybe we're going to do that, you know. But after the years of self-helping and studying and meditating and learning and talking to amazing people like you, I've discovered that it's not about that end goal. Yeah. It's about just learning how you want to feel all the time. And honestly, it doesn't matter how it comes. It's as long as you get to feel free, open, at home all the time, you're going to feel pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I love how you mentioned, like, to me, this is no coincidence. You've been doing gratitude practices every day. You've been making lists of celebrating you. So you're creating that internal environment that then like kind of sends out a radar to the universe and brings in the energetic matches to you. So honestly, you've already created the conditions to be that happy all the time. And then people just mirror that to you. Oh, you want to be this happy? This is what it can look like here. This is what it can look like here. But you're already creating that. You would be fine if those people didn't show up and those situations didn't show up.
So for our listeners, that always sounds like easier said than done.
100%.
It's possible with consistency.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. So that goes back to when I said like the mornings where I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do my gratitude list or whatever, and just still showing up for it.
Yeah.
And then and afterwards just thinking like, man, I'm really glad and I'm so grateful that I actually have the option of what I'm going to eat today. Like I can actually decide on that.
Yeah.
And it's not that there's plenty of people in this country who don't have that ability.
Yes.
Or that I don't have to worry about how my son will eat tonight.
Yeah.
Or if I literally went, I need a freaking mental break, that I would have someone who could watch him and help me. Like, these are things that are privileges, literally like diamonds in some people's life.
Yeah.
And to just take a second to remember that, you know, it gets better.
Yes.
Life gets better with it.
And if you're like, ooh, I don't feel like I have those things, or those things feel far away, then you know where the work starts. Absolutely no judgment. Judgment keeps us stuck. If we feel like, I will never have that, that is not for me, that is not for someone like me, I waited too long, whatever the story is, that's what keeps us stuck in that spiral. So just no judgment. Just try to bring as much love and compassion into this. We're all on a different path, but we're all supporting one another. So if you're getting hits from what Toni's saying or I'm saying, just use that as the spark to begin to explore that for yourself. What does that look like for me? How can I create that for myself? Or how can I take one step toward that today?
And to piggyback on that, it's because guess what? What we have here, this started as a spark.
Oh yeah.
This is years ago of sitting down and saying, you know what? I really want something different for myself.
Yeah.
You know, or this is when we were kids and just being a little weird and going, I don't know about that. And everyone's like, okay, you know, it's these little sparks and building blocks that really get you to the intentions that you're looking for to have. You know, and I love your point on the judgment, because I think the most judgmental place is within our minds.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. It's so freeing to just allow yourself to, like, if you got to say something bad in your mind, just say it. Or if it's something that feels so outlandish, like, don't say I'll never be able to have it. Just say, you know what? I would really love to have that.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay. I think maybe, I don't know, what's your feelings on it? Do you feel like, is it from like the media or is it just societal? Because so many of us automatically judge ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, instant.
Yeah, I think it's a protective mechanism, because deep down, I believe we are all super open-hearted, super deep feelers, deeply sensitive. And that shows up in different ways for each of us. It doesn't have to look the way that like New Age spirituality would define it. It can look very different for each of us, but somewhere along the way, we learned, picked up on, were taught, experienced that being that open-hearted isn't safe in the world. And so we began to layer on things like, I need to be logical, I need to be rational, this is what's possible for me, don't look there, that's never going to be yours, you can do this is safe, this is, you know what I mean? And then it just layers, and we begin exploring that. Usually those layers have been piling on for decades.
Yeah.
So it might take some time. And honestly, well, if we think about it from like even a neurological perspective, what we think about most, where our mind spends most of its time, that's where the grooves are deeply ingrained. That's where it's easiest for us to go. So if right now it feels like gratitude, schmatitude, that's a bunch of baloney, like that's an ingrained belief for us, you know? If we believe that judging ourselves keeps us safe from pain, that's an ingrained belief. So we're just going to the behaviors that we've learned keep us safe. And they may have served us for a time. Maybe when you were 5 and you got made fun of on the playground, it was helpful in that moment. But now we get to choose what we hang on to what we keep, what's still serving us, and what we're ready to let go of, and where we're ready to learn a new way. And in the spirit of non-judgment, not a better way, just a new way. Like, what's possible? How does it feel if I start looking at it this way? How does it feel if I start speaking like a loving mother or father to myself when I feel really sad, or if I'm having a day where nothing is going well, or somebody seemed especially harsh and aggressive toward me? Rather than piling on, what would it feel like to say, it's okay. I know this hurts. It's okay to feel this way. And I'm just going to be here with you for as long as you need. I mean, can you imagine if we were talking to ourselves like that all the time? How much less honking and cutting each other off and snapping and all these things that come from like just being on edge all the time because our minds are such a critical place to inhabit.
Wow. You dropped like a gazillion gems. I'm like, wow, like this is so much. Yeah. So I love, oh, what an amazing point that, like, we have been conditioned, and then we continue the conditioning of ourselves.
Yeah.
And, physically with the brain, and then emotionally and spiritually.
Yeah.
So the awesome part is that if we can be conditioned that way, then we can condition ourselves for a new way.
Yes.
And that's what fills me with the hope.
Yeah.
That's the joy. That's the joy. When like, okay, well, if that can happen, then this other thing is possible as well.
Yeah.
And I think in between there, when you shift over, that's when you can take some deep breaths and learn to not judge yourself so hard.
Yeah.
And to open your heart to possibilities, and to even be vulnerable with yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier to be vulnerable with others, like to a degree. Mm-hmm. Like the vulnerability that's expected of you, or you can push it just a little bit, right? And it's like, well, it's like, oh, Toni, JD, they're always vulnerable. They can do it, right? And then you have these moments with yourself, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to be that vulnerable with myself.
Right. Yes, absolutely. It's like never done,
Oh God, no. It's never done. And I think that vulnerable with yourself happens when you speak of a new possibility for yourself, to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's something like you never thought that you would be able to experience in life.
Yeah.
Or something that just seems so unreachable.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary to tell yourself, but I really want that.
Yes. Yes.
I really would like to try.
Yeah.
To, get into alignment with that. It's like you're talking to yourself, like, if you're okay with it, maybe we can try that.
Absolutely. I have conversations with myself all the time. All the time. And even if we're not doing it consciously, we're doing it subconsciously. Like all day, there's a voice in there. So why not work with it? Why not become allies with it rather than fighting it all the time?
So maybe that's what Aries wants us to do. Stop fighting ourselves and use that fire to get to this life that we want. I really feel like that's it.
It does feel like an initiating energy, and it feels big to me. Maybe it's just the point where I'm at. How it's showing up.
No, it's huge.
Okay.
It's not just you. No, this is huge. Like karmic cycles ending, old beliefs getting burned up in this Aries fire. Sorry to interrupt, but I want you to know.
No.
Like, it's huge.
It's big stuff. It feels that way.
Yeah.
For sure. It does. And it can feel a little bit like falling off, like free falling, like falling off the edge of a cliff, letting go of those kind of beliefs that have kept us in this cocoon for so long. Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. And what helps me is just being cool with the uncomfortable. Like knowing that if I'm uncomfortable, that means some good stuff is coming. Like if it's feeling a little too weird, then it's like, oh, this is different. Like with the guy, I didn't expect to actually like him. Like seriously. And then I felt like a little weird. And I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. I said, oh, this is good. Then we're okay. Like, so it happens. That's what helps me through the uncomfortable spots.
Yeah.
Because stuff gets uncomfortable.
It does. Yeah. I also like, personally, I'm feeling from Aries like this, like, stop trying to fit yourself into a system or a box or a label. Like, it may work for others, but it is not working for me.
Yes. I feel like Oprah. You get a car. Everyone gets a car. Like, you just hit it, girl. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, you think Aries is waiting on what everyone else has to say about them? Heck no.
No.
You're not going to fit in that box or that rectangle or that triangle because you got your own shape going on.
That's right. And you're going to outgrow that shape at some point, and it's going to become a new shape.
Yeah. Oh, that just like really touched my heart because I know especially I guess for anyone, but I feel like in our field in wellness is so much. It encompasses so many different things.
Yeah.
And we start out as one shape, and then you go through a gazillion different shapes, and then you find a new shape to stay in for a while. Yeah. And it is uncomfortable to feel like you had this one goal, right? Like, I don't know, I'm gonna help people, cure chronic disease through food.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you want to help people, cure depression through food.
Yes.
Or, meditation. Or next thing you know, you're like a sensuality coach. Who knows? It's like these shapes, you know, you just keep shifting.
Yes. And if we can ride those waves without judgment.
Yes.
It comes with so much more ease.
Yeah. Okay. So we got to give something like how, and of course we are, Jay and I still judge ourselves. Okay. We're not, we're still on our healing journey.
In it today, for real.
Yeah. So, but what advice or activity do you think could help someone, working with releasing some judgment?
So I guess what's up for me is what I have been using personally. So I'll just share that. And it's just one tool in the arsenal of tools, but I feel like that's a very Aries word, arsenal. I don't say it very often.
I love it.
But inner child work. And that can sound so like, I don't know, removed, but it's really not. It's exactly what we were saying. It's having a conversation with yourself. It's just having a conversation with the younger version of yourself. So when something seems especially triggering, or maybe you have an emotional reaction that feels like bigger than it would normally be, try not to shut that down and judge it and just like zip it back up and be like, nope, got to keep going. I'm going to adult this. Like, don't logic your way through it. Go into the feelings. And a lot of times what I've found is there's an aspect of, a past version of me that was really hurt by something like that. And that is an opportunity to reparent. That's an opportunity to love myself. How would I like to be supported through this? What words would feel comforting in this? Is it just holding space for yourself? Do you just need a hug? Can you hold yourself physically? That feels very different than pushing through. Yeah. Just like getting hard and being like, okay, screw them, screw that. I'm just going to keep pushing through. And that can be powerful too, in a way. But to me, it's not as releasing as actually just softening into it and being willing to see what's there. Just being a loving witness. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to change anything. Just witnessing what's there with love.
That was perfect. So perfect. So I go through these musical phases. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like, sometimes it's current stuff, but I've realized in the last year and a half that I go through phases of albums that were a big part of my life years ago and through some traumatic events. And so I don't know how to know it. My son and my niece are like, I want to listen to rock and roll. I want to listen to rock and roll. And so I put on System of a Down, which they love, which is great. But I remember I suffered with pretty severe depression when I was in high school and middle school, actually my whole childhood. Okay, now that I think about it. And, you know, music was always an outlet for me. And I remember my best friend and I, we loved System of a Down because they were just like, it was cool, but it was also like, yeah, I'm sad, but F the world. So great.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to it, and then all of a sudden, and of course, and my son and my niece like it, so we're listening to it, and then I'm like back in high school, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these same emotions, they're coming up, but then, of course, I have adult self.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, it's all right. You know, it was a hard time. And so today, during my meditation, right after I ran, I still had System of a Down playing. And then I thought about just a time when I was like 16 or 17 and the song's playing and I'm feeling like that, Toni. And I told her she was safe. It was okay to come home. I said, you know, you could come home to now, you know, just come on. And I know things are tough there, but I promise you now is good. Like now we understand a lot more.
Yeah.
And we are experiencing a lot of the things we wanted then. So I said, you know, come home so you can feel this too.
Yeah.
So that you can feel the joy that we're feeling now. And I felt amazing. Not just amazing. I feel like a boss. I feel great. Like, you know, like not just, oh, I feel better. Like, no, man, I feel awesome. You know, I got to tell that part of me, girl, come on home so you can have fun with me. You know? And honestly, JD, I feel more like a child now than I've ever felt. You know, ever in my life. Yeah. I mean, I can so get in the moment and play now, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Like I've never been able to before. Like how they always say in movies or in books or television, how you're supposed to feel as a kid. Well, I never felt like that. So I had too much going on. You know, I had to grow up.
Right.
But now, thank God, I get to experience that, just being totally lost in play. So totally what JD just said. That's how you can possibly apply it, you know, however you need to comfort your younger self. But it really does help with the judgment. Oh my God.
It does. Acceptance is so huge. Like, even if you don't feel like you have an eloquent way to express that, a simple phrase that you can say is this too. You're welcome here. This too. Anxiety. Yes. This too. Depression, pain, this too. And just let it all integrate. That's it.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. We could have just said that part right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God, this too. You are welcome here. And isn't that how we want to feel, right? Yeah. Doesn't that feel like freedom? Doesn't that feel like being at home? Doesn't that feel natural to tell yourself, hey, this too. It's all right. Too. Come on. We're here together.
Yeah.
Wow. Well.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, I feel pretty awesome.
Yeah. How does your little child, your inner child, like to express?
Dancing and creating.
Yeah.
So whether it be, well, now with technology, we can do so much with like collages and things like that. But I also really love working with my crystals on my altar. And then awesome sauce. I have a 3-year-old, so we get to do a lot of creative projects. So like the other day, Home Depot has this awesome workshop. You can go with your kids, anybody listening with any kids. They do it once a month and it's free. And
Wow.
so like you go and you build things. So we built an airplane and we painted it. And then, but even just sitting down and playing with him with the Play-Doh, coloring, and just allowing that part of me that needs to create from that playful, mindful place.
Yeah.
Not from that place of like, this has to be perfect or this has to look nice for someone else, but just allowing, you know, the creativeness to just flow.
Yeah.
And it's so relaxing and it's exciting. It's so exciting. And it's like meditation. That's what it feels like to me. Like, after I played with him, we've had a great time. It feels like meditation because you're just so in the moment.
Exactly. And that's how kids are most of the time. Yeah. They're not distracted and thinking about what's going to happen 10 years from now.
No. Not at all. The only time they're thinking about the future is if they're hungry or if they want a new toy. That's it. That's the only time my son is thinking about the future. Other than that, it's like,
he's
well,
right
what are
here
we doing now? Yeah. And
amazing.
And I got to play growing up, but with everything that was happening, I just felt like my creative juices were just like kind of stomped out a little bit by my emotions.
Yeah.
And adulthood can be like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think that's like such a beautiful revelation just sparked for me. If you're like inner child, what? You know? And you do feel like, I know for myself, like you're in a place where you're just taking life so seriously and everything feels so heavy. One way that you can begin to tap back into that is to just think back to when you were a kid, like, what did you love doing? Did you love bright colors? Did you love jewelry? Did you express yourself through fashion? Was it through putting on plays or coloring or reading? Like, what did you get lost in? What brought you joy? And connect back to those kinds of things.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just love you just brought that up because in my run today, I thought about like, man, people don't have hobbies anymore. Like, that's where all the fun is at.
Yeah. I feel like we're so busy, like, fixing ourselves.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm thinking, like, when's the last time I met someone who's like, yeah, I'm in a cover band. We play at parties sometimes. Or, you know, just, like, people used to say things when I was younger, like, oh, my daddy does that. My mom, she goes there and but.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we need some more bridge parties and.
No kidding.
Whatever.
Ooh, card games are so good.
Yeah, just play some card games, sit around, have a good time, or whatever we need to do. And another thing, just being in those circles, I really think helps to stifle out that self-judgment.
Yeah.
Because if everything you do is work and then you get home and then it's just like, now I got to think about how I need to fix myself. It's like, well, where do you have room to just let yourself be?
Yeah, I feel like that's what Aries is pushing me into, like kind of like wake up a little bit. There is some empowerment, or I would say there can be some flow that comes from setting a schedule, but then there's going to be times where we've outgrown it or it feels too constricting. And for me, that's like the Aries energy. That's how I'm feeling it, is like, stop being so dutiful.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't even think about that. Like, or like, you know, take that energy and just put it on your emotions. Like, what do you want to do? How are you feeling? Yeah. Where do you want to go? Who do you want to see?
And what a great time to ride the energy of Aries to begin cultivating a practice of self-trust, you know?
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, Aries is kind of like, I'm a badass. Like, I don't really care what you have to say.
Yes. And every Aries I know is like that.
Yeah. My husband is an Aries. And
okay. So you for sure know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like, well, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be fine.
Exactly.
Great. Let's do it.
He literally said those words today.
Well, you know what? And that's so exciting because I know for me, my experience in this world, I feel like I was taught to really question, you know, every decision. Like, is that the right decision or not? And then especially when it comes to like loving on myself or putting my happiness first, because of the guilt that comes with that, because it's like, well, should you really be, you know, spending your resources, whatever that is, time, money, or whatever, on yourself? You know, is that going to build you up? Is this doing that? Is this making that? And, you know, to get through that, got to go through it like an Aries. Like, no, I'm going to do it. It makes me happy.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. Because, I mean, really, when we really think about it, like, become aware of those feelings of, like, should I be doing this? Like, the shoulds, they're usually due to something outside of ourselves. It's how somebody else is going to perceive us that we are uncomfortable with. Some sort of future negative repercussion for our action.
Well, we got the fire under us now.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Feeling super awesome. Very hopeful.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like I was like at a 2 and now I'm at like an 8 just after this conversation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Woo, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. Man, it feels good. I'm pretty damn happy.
Yay.
I'm pretty happy.
It's so good. And honestly, for real, just try this if you're willing, with people who are tuning in. When somebody else is feeling really good, celebrate them. I promise you, you know how they say like happiness, laughter, whatever is contagious? That's how it becomes contagious. When you really celebrate that person, like really feel into how good they're feeling, and you realize it's accessible for you too.
Yes. Oh, that totally reminds me of something that came to me about with the gratitude and working with this energy of gratitude. I remember, you know, growing up in church, the pastor would always say, like, you know, praise scares the devil away, or pray through, you know, praise through it, not pray, praise through it. So shout about what's good. Yeah. And I'm like, man, they've been telling us this forever then. There you go. It's right there. It's, you know, gratitude, praising will just bring you more things to be grateful for. Yes. And then you find yourself where things that you felt were negativity, the devil, whatever, they start to fall away because your focus is all on all these amazing things to praise.
Yeah, there's just no room for it anymore. You basically crowd it out.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's in everything that we do, because as I'm learning as a mother with my child, the more I praise him, the more I point out all the good stuff he's doing, you know, the bad stuff just starts to go away. Yeah. You know, it just, and for so many reasons. Oh my gosh. It's so many reasons. But at the end of the day, it freaking works. Yeah. It does. Now I will give you know, like the other side of it. It's not pushing yourself to be positive to the point where you're like judging yourself or you're resisting. But, you know, it's finding that balance. Yes. In happiness and in life. Yeah. You know, because, hey, when my son does something bad, I still have to correct him on it. Right. But I can also, you know, continue to praise him on the great things. Yeah. You know, and we can do that for ourselves. Sometimes we feel like crap, you know, but there's another side to that. For real. Yeah. So when you're done, go ahead. I was just going to say, taking self-responsibility for something is a lot different than shaming ourselves for something. Yeah. We can own it. Right? And be like, oh, that sucks. I really wish I wouldn't have said that or reacted that way. I'm really sorry. Whereas shame is like, oh, that sucks and I suck and I'm never going to be okay. It's very different. Yeah. Big difference. Yeah. Huge difference. Wow. Yeah. And take it on how you treat yourself and how you treat others, how you treat the things in your life, you know, how you treat your car, your appliances, all this stuff, because it happens. Because, I found that as I was being more grateful, something went wrong with technology or something. I'm just like, oh, well, we'll figure it out. We'll get it together. Instead of this stupid phone or, it's just like, well, and you know what? That feels a lot better.
Yes.
It
really does.
Yeah. It's just the
and
little
by the way,
in the day. Yeah.
Just one thing is that if you do feel like your mind defaults to look for the negative, that is just a natural part of our biology. As like a species that's trying to survive in our environment, we tend to look for things that feel like threats and hone in on them. We don't tend to focus as much naturally on what's going well. So it's a practice that we have to cultivate and strengthen, just like a muscle. It's not natural to most of us. So if you feel like, oh, I'm just so negative and cynical, join the club. Like that's where everyone starts. And then we have to incorporate these practices that feel authentic for us, that help us create those new neural grooves, those new pathways, those new possibilities and different ways to think about and see the world.
That's perfect. And, and that's where the gratitude lists have come in handy for me, because it makes me feel like, well, I got some of that taken care of today. Like I put some time into it. Yeah. So if I find myself being negative, I'm not as judgmental on myself.
Yeah.
And as you just go through doing it consistently, it gets better. It takes time. A baby doesn't walk in a day.
Right.
Like, that's just, you got to just go with the flow. It's one step at a time. Oh, my dad told me that for so long, and I thought I understood it, but now I really understand it. Now he's older, and he's like, you got to just take it one day at a time. Yeah. One step at a time, and that's how you get there.
For real. And we would never judge a baby for not being able to walk in a day, but we judge ourselves for not being able to do things right away all the time. Wow.
You might need to put that like on your Instagram or something, because that is so real. Oh my gosh, that's so like, we never look at a baby and say, why did you learn how to walk today?
Right.
But for us, we go to like one therapy session, or we read like a paragraph or a chapter in a book, and we're just like, I'm not fixed yet. I don't understand.
Right. We like mess up one smoothie. We go on one run or take one exercise class, and we're like, well, I can't do this.
Oh gosh. So if we don't judge a baby, then we can't judge ourselves, listeners.
That's right.
We gotta just love ourselves the way we love the children.
Yes, because we are that.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. You ever realize, like, I always catch myself when I'm responding from like my child self, or like, I kind of, I really respond from like my tween self. So like 11 to 13, 14. Yeah. That's like the person I always end up, and I'm like, okay, little tween Toni looking at the Olsen twins and everything else. Oh gosh,
yes.
Like, just let's work through that.
Yeah. You got your own path.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Right. Full moon.
Full moon. I feel like we gave quite a few resources in this one.
Yes. Yeah. You guys could probably use this episode to get through the rest of this year.
I can.
Okay. Yeah. The same. To get through. Yes. Okay. Well, would you like to add anything else before we do our meditation to ground this stuff in?
Yeah, I feel good. Like I feel complete with it. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yes. Okay. So I want you to do our special breath. So you're going to inhale. Then you're going to hold it for about 4 to 6 counts. And then release it. And continue that breath. Now I want you to envision your younger self right behind you, and keep doing your breath. Now I want you to envision future self right in front of you, whatever that looks like for you. It could be in a couple of hours, wherever you planted yourself, like a grocery store or whatever. I want you to put that person right in front of you. Go ahead and take your breath. And then to the right of you, I want you to envision your positive self, the self that's always encouraging. And then to the left of you, I want you to envision the part that's judgmental, that's a little bit more negative, but it's still a part of you. Now envision a white light right at your heart center, beaming out. Allow this light to attract in your left version of yourself. So envision that part of yourself coming in and locking in right into your heart center. And now that white light is a little bit brighter and growing. Now I want you to envision yourself that's on the right coming into you here, locking into you, right into your heart center. That white light is getting brighter and bigger. Now I want you to envision the one that's in the future, that's right in front of you. Call them in. Lock it into your chest. The white light is much bigger. It's almost outside of your body. Take a deep inhale. Hold it, because we're going to need all of our power to call in the past self. Release it. And on that release, envision your past self, your child self, coming in, locking into your body. That white light is now radiating outside of your body. Your aura is larger and bigger. Here you are, whole, in this moment, and totally present. You are limitless and all-powerful. You've called all of your power home. All parts of you are now here. All parts of you are welcome. And with this energy, you feel alive. You feel strong. You feel magnificent. You are a powerful, divine being. Feel the strength flow through your body. Feel this energy of being so present in this powerful now. Feel it radiate beyond you, outside of your aura. You are powerful. You control the now. You are at home in your power. Your power feels natural. Being here now provides you with freedom. You are as free as a bird flying in the sky. Take one more deep breath, anchoring in all parts of you. Here you are, unlimited and now.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. Woo, don't need drugs when you have that. Oh, so good.
All right, y'all. So I think we'll just leave you kind of soaking in your own vitality.
Yeah.
And until next time, sending you so much love.